Joining us today is Congresswoman-elect Laurel of Florida's 15th Congressional District. Thank you so much for joining us.
It is my pleasure to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Now, first and foremost, can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to run for Congress?
Well, certainly. So, most recently I've been serving as Florida's Secretary of State, and serving as a senior part of Governor DeSantis' administration, I really had the opportunity to see firsthand just how critical it was to have strong, principled leaders in place in our state during and after the pandemic. Over and over again, we made policy decisions and did things for Floridians that made an incredible difference related to our economy, keeping our children in schools, supporting businesses. And so when I saw the opportunity, we had a new congressional district drawn in Florida that really was centered around the place where I had lived and worked and raised my family. So when I saw the opportunity to run for Congress, for me, I just knew it was a very important time to send principled conservative leaders to Washington, D.C.
And can you talk a little bit more specifically about what issues that you're passionate about and that you ran on?
Absolutely. So most important, the number one issue by far and away to the voters in our district was the economy. They're very concerned about inflation, about the price of gas, the price of groceries. So that was the thing that most often we heard from voters. So I talked a lot about economic issues during the campaign. And then also for me, I also spent a number of years serving as a federal prosecutor and a judge. So I focused a lot on border security and also community safety and how important it is for us to get down, secure the border, and also ensure that we're supporting the men and women of law enforcement in our community that are keeping us safe.
Now, as you're preparing for the next Congress, what are you most hopeful for?
Well, I'll tell you, we're off to a really good start in getting to know the other new members. I am very hopeful that the Republicans who are going to be serving together in this next Congress can bring forward a set of policy ideas that really resonate with the American people. Of course, there's a very important oversight responsibility and a very important responsibility for us as conservatives to be basically identifying where the Biden administration is failing the American people. But at the same time, we also need to be presenting a vision of Republican leadership and policy goals and what that looks like for us. So, for me, I think the thing that I'm the most excited about and interested in is being part of communicating that vision to the American people.
You talked a little bit about, what issues and policies you ran on. When you're in Congress, what battles do you hope to engage in?
Well, many of those things that I have had the opportunity to work on in my professional life, continue to be very important to me. And, as Secretary of State, I worked a great deal on elections. And, I'm very proud of where we are today in Florida. Today we're a national leader. That wasn't always the case for our state. We had to work very hard to develop the right elections code, to invest in our infrastructure, and to really bolster our cybersecurity defenses. So, we're now at a place where Florida does elections right. They're very secure with a high level of integrity. That's something that I think is an important background that I bring. And also, my background as a judge and as a prosecutor, I think bears on, a number of things that are important issues in Congress. So I look forward to hopefully adding those perspectives to the team.
And just one final question for you. What should Republicans investigate if they are to take back the House?
Well, I think first and foremost would be the failure to secure the southern border. I think that is just an incredibly dangerous issue. It's not just about people coming across. An open border brings with it human trafficking, fentanyl, things that are so damaging to our communities. So I would start there, the investigation of the failure to secure the southern border. I also think that the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan is an important subject for us to be looking at. And really, the third third thing I would say is I'm very concerned that our Department of Justice upholds the honor and a commitment that it makes to the American people. And for me, I want to know more about why parents of school children who are concerned about their education seem to be being targeted by our Department of Justice. So those are three things that come to my mind that I'd like to see us get to work on.
Well, Congresswoman-elect Laurel Lee, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.